everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to try something different, and we are going to do brown layered chapati. And for us to be in a position to produce brown chapati, we need brown flour, we need oil, we need water, and for this case I used cold water. Some people normally like using warm water or even hot water, but in my case I normally prefer cold water directly from tap. Then we have salt, then we have sugar, and between the sugar and salt, it normally depends on what you will eat with the chapatis. If you will go to have a stew, I normally advise one to have more salt than sugar, and for my case here I'm going to use more salt because chapati will go to use it with a stew. So we'll start first by putting the flour in the mixing bowl, and it normally depends on the amount of chapati you want to produce. For my case, I normally produce for few people. So you put your brown flour in the mixing bowl, then you add salt and you put to taste, then you add a little sugar. I won't add more because I'm going to use it for stew. Then you mix well. So after mixing the flour with sugar and salt, you add oil. You add oil. Oil is you add oil. Oil normally helps chapati to be softer. So you find out sometimes people normally add oil after making the dough or on top of the dough, but to me, I like mixing it with, you mix with flour before you start making your dough. So after that we add water, and remember to add little by little so that you don't add too much of it and it will be a bit difficult for you. So you start mixing well. You mix well until you find a soft dough. So if you want also to use the white flour, the procedure is still the same. It's only that I opted to go for brown flour. So you can also use the white flour for you to be in a position to go with your taste. So if you like white flour, you go for it. If you like brown, the procedure will still be the same. So our dough is almost ready. So for you to be in a position to know that your dough is ready, you find that you mix until it is not sticking to your hands. So for my case, you see it is almost ready because it's no longer sticking in my hands. So when you reach this level, so I added little water because I thought I needed it. So guys, you find out that some people normally have different ways of doing or making dough for chapatis, and you are not limited. You can still try different ways. So this is the way I normally like doing it. So at this case, you can transfer your dough to your working table. You can transfer your dough to to your working table and you continue kneading. So remember, the more you knead, the more it normally make that dough to be stretchy well, which it is an indication that your dough is now ready. So at this point, our dough is ready. Our dough is ready, and you will see how soft it is. So you will leave it for 20 to 30 minutes for it to soften more than this. So we will take back our dough to our mixing bowl. You take it back to your mixing bowl. And you cover it with a clean film. You cover it with a clean or a damp cloth. If you don't have a clean film, you can cover it with a damp, clean cloth. So you will put water in your kitchen cloth. Then you cover it. Well, for my case, I like covering it with a clean film. You give it time to rest so that it become more softer. Then after that, now you get ready to produce your chapatis. So we will leave our dough here for 30 minutes. For my case, I leave for 30 minutes. Then we come back in and produce the chapatis. So our 30 minutes are over, and our dough. You take your dough out of your mixing bowl. You put it in your working table and you make balls. You make round balls. And for my case, I normally like making my ball in this way. Then I cut into equal sizes. This way. Then you make balls. Then you make balls. So you make, for this one, you make balls. If you find that like this one is a bit big, you cut a little bit so that you have equal sizes. Then after that, since we made our dough, it's very soft. You find that you don't even need more flour to roll it. You can only add a little bit. You can add a little bit on the working table. Then you roll. You roll your roll into circle. When in that level, you add a very thin layer of oil on top. After that, you roll. You roll this one. Then you tuck in the top. You tuck in this one. You set aside, and remember to cover the other doors while which you are not using, to avoid them drying. Remember, when we were making the dough, we had add enough oil. So for this, when you are making, you make sure you put a very thin layer on it so that it doesn't have a lot of oil. But for chapatis to be softer, the secret is putting enough oil. The secret is only putting enough oil on it. And oils also help to prevent the chapati from drying. So when you see when you are being served with dry chapatis, it normally have different reasons as to why that chapati is dry, but mostly maybe the oil was not enough, or maybe the heat was too much. Maybe you did the dough was too hard. It normally have different reasons. So for this case, I only opted to do 3 to show you how to do it. So our 3 is ready. Then we prepare our pan. And you put medium heat. Don't put a lot of it because it might end, the chapati may not cook well. So always ensure you put medium heat. Now we roll to get the layers. This is the final stage. After putting the oil, this is our final stage. And another secret of avoiding drying chapatis is always ensure that after cooking them, you make sure it is covered, maybe with a cloth, maybe with you put in a dish, or maybe you cover it with aluminium foil. You cover it with foil. So our pan is ready. Then you put your chapati. I normally put the chapatis for it and leave it to dry first before adding oil. You put it in there and you give it time to dry first. Then you turn to the other side. Then you continue adding oil. Remember, when you start putting oil, the chapati starting cooking, and for this case it's only dry. When you only put it without oil, we are only drying it. So when you start putting oil, it shows that it will start cooking from that point. So one side is ready, you turn it to the other side. You see it has already dried. It has already dried. So after turning to the other side, you put oil now. You put oil to this part, the top part. You see it has started. So you put oil to this side, a little oil. Then you turn to the other side for it to cook now. You keep on checking if it has turned golden brown, because that is the best color for chapatis. And then the other side is cooking, you put oil on top of the other side so that when you turn To the other side, you are good. You are good to go. You are good to go. As we wait for it to cook, we do our third layer. So keep on checking. Now, you see, it is golden brown. So you turn to the other side for it to cook. So if you have any question to do with the chapatis, comment down below or ask your question in the comment section so that I will answer all the questions that you need to know about chapatis or any question to do with cooking. You comment down below. So our first chapati is ready. It is ready. So we dry the second one. We dry the second one. So we check now if our chapati is layered. You see? It has several layers. Very soft and yummy. Very soft. You see the layers. I wanted to show you the layers it has. It has several layers. So that is it, guys. For today, we'll stop there as I continue later to do the other chapatis because I will not be in a position to show you everything. So always ensure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that the moment I post a video, you will be in a position to receive it and you try this at home. And if there is any type of food you want us to try, comment down below and let me know so that we get set and we continue learning to cook at home. Bye bye, guys. Subscribe.